What's up, world? So I am in the midst of me being very busy today, working and working with clients. I'm running some errands, so I decided to use this as an opportunity to do this video. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I have done videos in my car before, like okay. Anyways, but what I've seen a reoccurring theme, and I feel like I should do a video on it, with like working with people recently. There's this theme of forgiveness, okay? And while everybody is capable of forgiveness, and in different ways, everybody is still capable of it. It's one of those things that people find hard to do. Like, that's what I'm noticing. And is there anything wrong with that? No, I'm not judging or anything like that. It's just I want to shed a light on this situation or on this particular topic, because I feel like it's necessary, very, very necessary, to properly heal situations, to get relationships back together, to just be in love, be in positivity, and it's a very essential step for creation and manifestation. Okay. Why? Okay, so let's look at why. And I'm sorry, there's cars and people and stuff passing by, so I'm gonna be looking at them. I like looking at things and people and objects. But okay, let's go to religion, okay, for this. If you take Christianity for starters, all right. There's a theme of forgiveness. If you even understand the story of Jesus dying on the cross to forgive, that's the key word, forgive everyone of their sins and to be washed clean, and so you don't have to face judgment and blah blah blah. To me, that was a very big metaphor for the simple fact that forgiveness is the key to life. For me, it's more about the energy that it exudes, the energy that comes off of certain frequencies that we tap into. Okay, so let's say we tap into the frequency of tap into the frequency of forgiveness, right? So you tap into the frequency of forgiveness, and what you do is you free yourself. Now, this has to go both ways. You have to be willing to forgive, but then you have to be willing to accept someone who's asking for forgiveness. And that could play out a couple ways, because yes, while you have some people okay, well, I'll forgive you, but I'm done with you forever. I tend to look at that in a certain way. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because for a person to really say that, there is elements of that person that just really have not let go and forgiven. Just really think about this. Now, I know this seems far-fetched for a lot of people, because they're like, well, if somebody freaking screws you over, you mean tell me you're going to forgive them and go back to the same situation? And nah, I tend to look at it as keep your friends closer, your enemies closer type thing. It's kind of like this for me, okay? Because I feel like this is another aspect in my life where I faced judgment, or I was outcasted or misunderstood. And I'm going to explain. When someone has done something to me, or I perceive that they did, because a lot of times it's perception, and if they directly did, that's a whole nother story, but it's still in the same pot. Okay, it's still in the same pot, ready to be stirred up. But I would get mad, mad, and how dare you do this to me, and blah blah blah. But then I'll do this thing to where I'm if a person comes to me and says, okay, look, this is what it is, they communicate to me and they're this is what it is, that was a misunderstanding, or I apologize, or whatever the case may be, I then give myself no choice but to forgive them. Okay, and it depends on me in a relationship. If it was me and it was a person that I was in a friendship or a relationship with for a long time, or for a while, I will be more open to accepting that person's apology and us many things. Why? Because, like, yeah, the world is about relationships. And, like, let's say after you I've mended the situation with the person, okay, then if the universe is like, okay, you know what, y'all are done, y'all can go y'all separate ways now, I don't then force the situation. We naturally either just go in the flow and still be an item or friends, or whatever the case may be, or we fall apart and we go our separate ways. Okay, you know, it happens like that. But still, you know, I don't deny the person the right to ask for the apology or ask for forgiveness. I don't. And I feel like I was judged, like, harshly, you know, and I'm telling you, and this is not bragging, you know, I'm just giving an example because I face a lot of pain and scrutiny behind these situations, you know, like I tell you, I admit to my wrongs, you know, and I have no problems with doing it. It's just that it's hard doing that when you have other people practicing not doing that, you know. That's a whole nother story, but still, it's like, I will sit there and I would be the first to apologize. I would go out of my way. You know, I would put my, like, integrity on the line. I would put my ego on the line. I would put a lot of myself on the line. You know what I mean? Like, the way it looked on the line publicly, or whatever the case may be. Even though I'm not just the only wrong person in the situation. It could have been a situation me and a person openly contribute to. I would sit there and be like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna apologize because of whatever reason. That, it really, in all actuality, made me the more stronger, more powerful person, to be honest with you. But still, when you're dealing with a society or world that looks as, like, kindness for weakness, it's hard, you know, or forgiveness as weakness, it's hard, you know. But it really just opened me up to more healing and just further insight and higher consciousness. That's all that it did, you know. And it didn't mean that I was wrong. I regularly practice, like, situations to where I put myself on the line. I regularly practice situations to where it may look a certain way to people, just to test my own inner strength and, like, how I've healed. Okay, so I will not. I take advantage of, like, situations when I can. You know, completely not a pushover though. Like, I don't feel like forgiveness or the ability to forgive someone makes you a freaking pushover. It makes you clever, smart, open, genius, actually. I think this is going to be several videos, you know, to go more in depth. I got so many videos I want to, like, so many topics I want to go more in depth with, and it's mind-blowing. But the point being, right, is that if you understood how the universe worked, the universe is broad, it's vast, it's continuous energy. It's never blocked energy. It's continuous. And if we are the mere reflection of the universe, then that means that the energy, just simple sitting here vibrating a certain frequency, is continuous. Okay? And with that being said, what you're doing when you're practicing certain things, okay, hence Jesus died on the cross for forgiveness, for asking for, like, forgiveness for our sins, you know, it was like there was no length that he wouldn't go to. Now, I'm still talking about this metaphorically, but it was no length that he wouldn't go to for that energy, for that frequency, for that forgiveness, for that openness, you know, because he already understood the art of life and death, and he already knew, like, okay, I wasn't going to die anyways. I'm still alive. You see? Okay, that's a whole nother topic, but I'm saying he was open to what it brought him to, like, what his actions was bringing him to. He was open to tapping into a certain frequency, or tapping into that frequency to be open to receiving, like, things beyond this world, you know. And a lot of times we're stuck and limited to things of this world, and that's why we never get anywhere. That's why we stay mentally imprisoned. But anyways, so a person that is practicing forgiveness, they are open. They're always open, and they're saying constantly, this, the frequency that they're giving out to the universe is like, yeah, I'm not blocked, bring me more. bringing me more, but bringing me more of the things that I'm looking for on a higher frequency. Okay, like once you get caught up and wrapped up, and another thing it does, it shows you that you're not limited in thinking, you're not limited to the distraction of the world or the distractions of the world. I say worlds because like there's of course there's more than one world, but you're not limited to certain projections of duality. Okay, you understand it, because then you understand, as you practice forgiveness, you understand that you had to align yourself up with, I want you to hear me, with the situations that presented itself at the time. You had to. And when you become like immovable or blocked or stuck because you feel like that very thing that you needed to mirror you at the time, that you needed for your own self-growth, your own self experience, or your own experience of life, your own projection or whatever, whenever you feel like, okay, that was an injustice done to you, in a sense of or the fact that it's like, okay, well, it caused me pain, or it caused me this, or it caused me that, you then block everything that comes after that. All the greatness, all the rewards, all the compensation that comes after that. It's more like an ignorance in a sense. And I'm not saying this to judge anybody. It just is, because like if you understand karma, you understand there's previous lifetimes before this one that we're currently incarnated in. There's more ahead and all that. Like if you understand that, then you know like there was some crap that you probably could have done in a past life that is bringing you, like smacking you right dead in the face this lifetime. And you learn that, you know what, I'm not going to utilize this as victimhood. That's another video. So, but the thing about it is, the forgiveness is tricky, because around that forgiveness there's a bunch of fear, there's a bunch of anguish, there's a bunch of anxiety, there's a bunch of you losing your ego, there's a bunch of you feeling like, okay, what if I look this way or look that way? There's a bunch of crap that goes on behind forgiveness. But it's that's the very just blessed thing about forgiveness. That's the magnificent thing about forgiveness, that even though all of this stuff is around it, it's just calling out for you and saying like, but if you can just break through all of that though, if you can see that where you're at is just your own self-imposed limitation, you would then openly, honestly, confidently practice forgiveness. You see, Jesus, he did the ultimate forgiveness sacrifice because he knew that he was not of this world. He knew that victimhood wasn't the answer. He knew that it was like the ultimate truth, like the truth of all truths. The quickest way to that higher frequency that he was trying to get everybody to understand, open up to, and acknowledge. Okay, so you gotta keep that in mind. And it's hard going into that without like and being so broad, because I'm tapping on different things, but I have to go like deeper into it, and I don't really have the time right now, so I'm skimming the surface. But still, all in all, you know, it's just we get caught up and we get lost in the words. Like, our environments don't help. Like, it doesn't, you know. And I'm sorry, like, for like a lot of the black community or whatever, we constantly get pumped with, and anybody that's following that program, okay, constantly gets pumped and subjected to continuous mental blockages, like through music alone. Like, if you are not mentally strong enough, I want you to understand this. If you're not mentally strong enough to combat this continuous stream, you turn on your music, you know, you just your radio, your TV, it doesn't matter, your environment. If you're not strong enough to combat that, like what's constantly being pumped into your heads and in your minds, then you're not going to do anything but live it out and act it out, you know? And it's just negative. It's just like constant blocks because you walk around like angry or with this attitude. Like, I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got this little way about myself where I can get a little attitude, but it's not for negativity, you know. Mine is just for fun and games sometimes, you know. And you know, I like to get a little, you know, feisty a little bit, but I don't walk around for attitude's sake. Like, you can walk around and like walk and literally smile at somebody and they look at you like, you know, with a stank attitude. And then you ask yourself the question of like, well, why do you, like, I understand life is hard, but that attitude is going to keep you in the life that you are in. It's just this hard exterior, egotistical. It's nothing wrong with ego, but I'm saying like when it gets above your being, you know, egotistical, I'm bad, you bad, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can hate you the most, I can outdo you. It's like that type of vibe is not, you tapping into a lower frequency. And that's what you guys, you need to become familiar with, all of us. We have to understand that this is, we're nothing but vibrations, frequency, energy. Okay? That's it and that's all. When you learn to disattach the meanings that's being assigned to this, what it looks like, how, like, for instance, it looks like you're a weak person for being able to forgive or being open to certain things. When you learn to detach from that, those type of stigmas, that's when you advance, okay? That's when you advance. It's just a fear, all right? Now, so practicing forgiveness starts within yourself. Like, start forgiving yourself for little mistakes that you made. Start forgiving yourself. Like, if you feel like you've made mistakes in your life, it looked a certain kind of way, you felt this way or felt that way about it, start just saying, you know what, I forgive myself for that, you know? And then practice forgiving other people, because you want to be able to forgive and like really mean it from your heart. That's the only way you're going to practice like true magic for yourself. Okay? Well, I'm going to stop right there and I will be back, okay? Because I want to continue on the topic of forgiveness. It's really broad, okay? And it seems so simple, but yet it's not. All right? So I'll be back, okay? Peace and much love.